Hello traders, welcome back to the channel. General here with Trading the Charts Pro. In this video we're going to break down the overall market and bring some context to everything that's been taking place. Alright, so I want to show you how I'm actually looking at this market right here right now, and I also want to pinpoint or point out to you that literally, guys, since the market has crashed in 2020, the market has absolutely run a 100% up move from the bottom into next week. We're looking to see how will the market behave when it gets to this 4,300 and around 84 to 92 level. All right, that's a critical level, because what we're looking at is if you bought, or whoever bought right down into the bottom here and just continue to hold, you know, they are literally up 100%, and that's very critical. All right, so if you have made a 100% return on your holding, why wouldn't you be looking to sell some of that? All right, so that's just one piece of what I wanted to touch on tonight. And then the next thing is we want to look at the trend, because to be honest, guys, nothing really changed in the market until we start to see situations where price starts to behave different or no longer behave to the trend that the market has been moving in. All right, and when we look at the S&P 500, this is a spectacular trending market right here right now. So whenever the S&P 500 moves back to its resistance, which is anywhere into the 4,384 to the 4,400 level, at that time we will 100% be looking for the market to pull back down and come back down to the support. And at that time, as long as the cycle continues, it means that we will be watching for the S&P 500 to continue moving in its uptrend until the trend is over. Now, when it gets to the point where the trend is over, and I'm assuming that, you know, maybe it's gonna be somewhere up here, I don't know, you know, but when we pull back, if we come back to the support level and we hold and continue moving up, that's very nice. But if the market starts to roll over for whatever reason, tapering and stuff like that, what I'm actually looking at, guys, is if the trends start to break down, I am going to be watching these level right down here. So we're not there yet, but a major correction, this is where a major correction would take the S&P 500 if one comes. All right, so everything has been working very nicely in our favor, and this is when we start to prepare, we start to look out for what's next. All right, because this has just been a phenomenal run, and we all know the market runs in three cycles. We have a bull run, the market can run sideways, consolidate for a long period, and at some point the downturn will come. Right, so this is what we're looking at. We will continue to monitor this uptrend, and as long as the market continues to move in this uptrend, then we will continue to ride the market to the upside. All right, so that's what the S&P 500 is basically telling us right here right now. Moving on over to the NASDAQ. So guys, in my last video we talked about the NASDAQ, right? And the NASDAQ was actually inside this horizontal level right here, where the market was continuing to run up, pull back, run up, pull back. So when we were inside this area, I said clearly that the market would break out of this resistance level, and when the breakout of that resistance level come, what we would be looking at is a continuation of a uptrend. Why? Or the market will fall back into the bigger uptrend, because when we typically have a situation where the market runs into a ascending triangular pattern, what a ascending triangular pattern is price moving up, right? moving up, and then we hit our head into a short-term resistance level. But after all of that is over, right, and eventually price break out of this horizontal resistance, then you look for price to continue moving up and start to continue that uptrend. All right, so basically when we look at the on the NASDAQ, this is exactly what was happening. Price runs up, very tight ascending triangular pattern, then we get the breakout of the ascending triangular pattern. The market continues to move into its bigger picture price action movement, which is the uptrend. All right, so now that the NASDAQ has breakout and it has run up, now what I'm basically looking at is what is this market going to do when it gets back up to the resistance level. Every time the market pulls up into this resistance, this is where we typically pull back down and we get a bounce and the trend continues. So as far as pattern recognition goes, you know, this is how I see the NASDAQ really moving. And another thing, when we apply some Fibonacci price extension from the bounce off support here, run up, this is move 1, price pull back, and then move 2 into the extension of a 100%. This is right where the market almost closed on Friday at the 14,825 level. So if the market is able to push above this level into Monday, then we will look for it to come back and hit into the uptrending resistance. If it doesn't, we can start pulling back down to the breakout level here, which was old resistance become new support, and from that level we look to get the next move into the upside. So this is what I'm looking at for the NASDAQ. Man, this week was a phenomenal week. We had Microsoft, we had Apple, all of those stocks that weren't moving too much, with the exception of Microsoft. They were just flying non-stop, guys. So it's really great when we see tech continues, or tech takes back over the rally. We know that this is a solid rally and we will continue to play to the upside. All right, so let's move on over. Look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Guys, Dow Jones last couple weeks, this market was trending very nicely, pulled back, found a horizontal support level right around the 33,500, and price bounced, hit its head on a short-term resistance, pull down. So basically this is where you have to come in and start understanding what's going on here. The market is moving in a uptrend, and at this point the market has started to change its pattern as far as the Dow Jones Industrial Average goes. So this is where you start to look for the opportunity when price gets back to its support level, and it did right here break support, but then next day we got a major reversal, and that was a short-term sign, at least once price break back above the 50 EMA, that okay, we're going long again to the upside with a target of the old resistance. So this is how you play the patterns once they have started to show themselves. All right, so when we look at the Dow Jones where it's currently at right now, two things can happen. Either we get a pullback down to the support, or based on the close that we have on Friday, I'm anticipating that we get a breakout to the upside in anticipation of this market coming back to test its all-time high up here into this uptrending resistance level. All right, so that's how I'm basically looking at the Dow Jones right here right now. I would be cautious because you don't want to be buying at resistance. You always want to catch the low risk trades that are currently at support. So let's watch how this opens up, how it plays out into next week, and then we can, you know, make some decisions as to how we really want to treat anything that is currently in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. All right, next thing we want to look at is the YM. All right, YM Russell 2000, guys. This market literally has been consolidating since pretty much the beginning of the year. This market has not done anything. So what I'm looking for as far as the Russell 2000. NASDAQ is making all-time highs. The S&P 500 is making all-time highs. I'm anticipating that the next rotation is going to be a rotation back into small cap stocks, and then after we get a rotation into small cap stocks and we get a breakout of this consolidation that we're currently seeing right here, and small cap stocks run up, I do believe after that last run, that's going to lead us right into where the entire market is going to start pulling back down. All right, so let's watch out small cap stocks. Do we get a breakout of the all-time high and this market continues to move to the upside? If we do, small cap stocks is going to be the next place at least that we want to be. All right, one last thing that I want to look at before I wrap this up here is, guys, the VIX continues to slide to the downside. So we have to monitor the VIX, because the VIX is going to start showing us the rotation in terms of, has the market literally peaked? All right, so when we see the VIX start to spike up, then we know, guys, it's time to take profit and move to the sidelines. All right, but I don't think that is going to happen until price action in the VIX comes down to about $11. When the VIX hit a low of $11, that's going to be its 2020 support level. I will really be watching to see what the market does from that point. But guys, the market is at an all-time high. We have to be cautious. If you're playing this market, play the market with smaller positions, because we just don't know when the bears are going to come in and they're going to roll this market super hard. All right, so until then, guys, if you watch until this part, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.